Ciao friends, welcome to Simple Italian Cooking. Today I'm just doing a really quick chicken dish. Really tired. It is Saturday evening and I just want something easy, so we came back from Aldi with some organic chicken breasts, and I'm going to do just some real simple chicken with some sweet peppers. Should be a delicious dinner, so let's go ahead and get started and see how it turns out. Okay, so I'm just using a single pack of chicken breasts and some fresh parsley, salt, pepper, garlic, some white wine, olive oil, a little bit of flour, and some sweet peppers. And as you can see, they are starting to kind of get a little soft and wrinkly there, so time to use them up. I'm also going to be doing a side dish of some roasted Italian potatoes, so follow along as we get started to prepare our Italian meal. For the chicken breasts, I'm just cutting them, slicing them so that they're about 1/4 of an inch thick. I'm not going to pound them or anything like that. I'm not looking to make like really super thin cutlets. So this is pretty good right here. And this will give me about 6 chicken pieces, 6 or so. Right, these are organic mini sweet peppers from Walmart that I got. And like I said, they're starting to go. They're getting wrinkly on the skin. They're not moldy. They're not bad. They're not rotten. Otherwise, I wouldn't be using them. But it really just kind of goes to show how you can really use what you have on hand and still just make an amazing dish. So these are the inside, the fleshy part I like to get rid of just because it's kind of bitter. So if you have the time, go ahead and get rid of that. Now I'm slicing these. You can chop them into big pieces. You don't have to use just yellow, orange, and red. If you use the green, it'll have a different flavor. These are mini ones and they're sweet. So, and I'm okay with that. Like I said, so much of Italian cooking is being able to take what you have on hand and make incredible dishes, and this is just like a perfect example. In Italian, there's a term called la cucina povera, and that means the poor kitchen, but it's more than just that. It really refers to being able to use what you have in the kitchen to make a really good tasting dish. So for this video, I also wanted to show you just how you can make multiple dishes at one time that are Italian and have an amazing dish. So I have some of these small potatoes that I think we also got from Walmart, and so I'm just chopping them up real loosely and putting them into just a simple baking dish. We're not going to cover it or anything. We're actually going to be roasting these. So I just add a drizzle of olive oil on. I actually do a little bit more than a drizzle because I want them to get nice and crispy. And then I'm adding just a little bit of black pepper and some cracked black pepper and some Himalayan salt because it's coarse. So I really love this particular salt and pepper grinder set. I'll put a link below so that if you want to check it out on Amazon, you can. Okay, and lastly, you're going to add some dried rosemary. If you have fresh, that's even better. But I'm just doing a little bit of rosemary on there. Just a little bit. It's going to smell really potent, but when it cooks, it actually gets more subtle. So I really like this combination. Notice I'm not using any garlic for this dish either, it's just not needed. So I'm going to go ahead and pop this into my Breville oven, which I use for almost everything. I'm going to do it at 375 Fahrenheit. I'm going to start off at 30 minutes, although it'll probably take longer. Okay, next grab some just regular white flour. You can use gluten-free too if that's what you have. And I'm using about 1/4 cup to 1/2 cup. I just kind of eyeball it for this, and then I'm adding some cracked black pepper and some salt directly into the flour. You can also just put it right on the chicken breast, which is probably more efficient, but I'm just feeling a little bit lazy, so I'm just adding it right into the flour. And then I'm going to go ahead and mix it up so it's nicely evenly dispersed. Okay, next what you want to do is just take your chicken breast that we sliced up and just put it in the flour, and you want to make sure that it's really well coated. Make sure to get in all the crevices. You don't really have to shake it off or anything. And if you need more flour, just grab more flour. But these are really nice. Okay, next what you want to do is you want to heat up a large saucepan. I'm using my 5.5 quart stainless steel Cuisinart pan. I love this. It's a tri-ply. Put a link below as well if you want to check it out. I like it. It's just real good for frying because of the deep sides. I'm putting in about 1/4 cup of olive oil. I really want to be generous, but we're not frying, we're not deep frying these, so you really don't need all that much. So okay, so it's like on a medium-high heat right now, and I can tell the oil is getting hot. And what I'm going to do, since this recipe is a little different, I want to go ahead and soften these peppers. So I do that first before cooking the chicken, because there's not going to be enough time after the chicken is done to then cook the peppers. So I'm just going to leave that on for about 5 minutes or so, and let that cook, steam, cook up, and let's see how it is. All right, good. So you can see they're a little bit more limp. They don't have to be like totally cooked, but just enough to kind of soften them up. So I'm going to go ahead and take them out and just put them in a bowl and set them aside. Okay, now we're ready to go ahead and add in our chicken breast. And I want to make sure that it gets that oil on it. We're going to cook it for about 2 to 3 minutes on each side. What we're going to be looking for is a nice golden brown color. Now remember, I did not pound these. I did not use a meat mallet or my rolling pin. These are just chicken breasts that are thin. They're not really necessarily cutlets. Cutlets, I would be more likely to pound them down so they were more paper thin. So because these are thicker, 2 to 3 minutes on each side is not going to cook them enough. So make sure to not eat them yet. All right, let's check and see how our potatoes are doing. Just kind of want to eyeball it. Yeah, they're heating up, but I think that either I could have done it for a little higher temp, or I'm just gonna have to cook them longer. I'll just cook them longer. So I'm gonna set it for about another 20 minutes. Okay, back to the chicken breasts. Let's see how they're doing. Oh yeah, they're looking pretty good. I'm happy with that. Nice color. Yeah, that's perfect. This is really good. So just another 2 to 3 minutes on this side and we'll be good. All right, when they're ready, just go ahead and take them out, put them on a plate off to the side so we can make room to finish the remaining chicken breasts. And if you need to add a little bit more oil back in, feel free to go ahead. There's nothing wrong with that. Okay, lovely. So the chicken breasts are off to the side. Now what we're going to do is we're going to deglaze this. I'm using about 1/4 cup of dry white wine. I'm not sure where I got this wine from. I'm not using like a fancy wine. And what you want to do is just use a spatula and kind of deglaze. This is called deglazing, when you're able to scrape up those bits and pieces. And you want to keep those bits and pieces because that adds a lot of flavor to the sauce that we're making. So I felt like I needed a little bit more liquid in here, so I added just a little bit of water, because what we're going to do now is we are going to put the peppers back in. So I took about 3 cloves of garlic and chopped them up. I didn't do it fine. I just roughly chopped it and added it in. You don't have to go as heavy as 3 cloves. I just was feeling like I wanted to have a lot of garlic in this dish. And if you're not a big garlic person, then I would cut back to about 1 clove maybe. Okay, so our liquid has reduced in half, and that's what we're looking for. So I'm gonna go ahead and now add in the chicken breasts, and I'm just gonna put them right in there with the peppers. Okay, lovely. So now I'm just gonna put the lid on and let it cook on a simmer, low heat for about 10 minutes. So I decided, you know what, I really need to round out this meal and I'm just kind of standing around, so why not just throw a quick salad together? So I grabbed some organic loose leaf lettuce that I had gotten from Aldi, and I'm just gonna put it in my salad spinner and give it a good rinse. So here's a quick tip for you. Grab a paper towel and put it in the top of the lettuce container. This helps absorb excess moisture, helps keep the lettuce from getting wilty as fast. And then you want to turn it upside down, so any of the moisture that's on the bottom will just go to the paper towel. I actually like to soak my salad for a while, just to make sure to get any loose anything in there that shouldn't be in there. I really love this salad spinner. It saves me so much time. If you're not familiar with salad spinners, they just work like this. You put it in and you press it down. They have different kinds. I just really like that, but it works. All right, it's been about 10 minutes, so I wanted to check on the chicken. Make sure that it's an internal temperature of 165 Fahrenheit, which is about 73 degrees Celsius. So this looks perfect. I don't want to cook it anymore. The last thing we need to do is simply add the parsley. By adding the parsley at the end, and I'm using fresh, which I recommend, you just retain more of the flavor. It doesn't cook out. So I'm using fresh. If you don't have that, that's okay. You can use a little bit of dry, maybe add it in a little bit sooner so that it can cook into the sauce. But this looks really good. I'm using Italian parsley, by the way. You can use curly if that's all you have. So like I said, just a really simple salad with some tomatoes and stuff in there. Nothing super fancy. All right, and my potatoes look great. I did cook them for about 15 more minutes. And here is the final dish. So as you can see, just a very nice, well-rounded meal using what we have on hand, and it smells absolutely delicious. By the way, if you love Italian food, I really recommend that you subscribe to our channel because that's what we're all about. You can also sign up for our newsletter where I send you recipes every week right to your inbox. So I'm just gonna go ahead and take a taste test here, and I can tell you that it was absolutely delicious. We really enjoyed it. It was a wonderful meal, and I hope this inspires you too. And let us know in the comments what you think of it. Thanks for watching. Ciao.